Jesus announces that he's going to go to Jerusalem, and there he's going to suffer, and there he's going to be killed. And when Simon Peter hears this, he takes Jesus aside and he rebukes him, it says. And Peter says, "God forbid, Lord, no such thing will ever happen to you." And at that, Jesus turns to Peter and says, "Get behind me, Satan. You are an obstacle to me." The man that he has just previously called the Rock, now he's calling Satan. And it's hard to understand, because what is Peter doing? But he's just trying to protect his friend, as you and I would do. We want to protect our friend from anything that's going to imperil their health or lead them into danger. But what Jesus is teaching Peter is that the best thing that we can do for our friend is to let him or her live what God has given them as his will. That's the best destiny, that's the best gift we can give to our friend, to live what God has in store for them as his design. I remember when I was teaching at the seminary in New York, there was a seminarian there by the name of Peter Pomposello, who went on to be ordained. So now he's a priest, but he's also a captain in the army, and he's a paratrooper, and he's a jump master. It's his responsibility to teach young soldiers, paratroopers, how to jump out of airplanes. And he sent me a video once which showed me a training session. So they're in this airplane, who knows how many thousands of feet in the air, about 10 young paratroopers. The side door of the plane opens, and one by one, Father Pomposello instructs each man to jump out of the airplane. And they do it. And suddenly, he's all alone in the airplane. He looks out the door, and I'm thinking to myself, no, don't do it. And then he jumps, and the plane is empty. And just before he jumped, I wanted to shout out, no, don't do it. It was terrifying. But of course, he had to do it, along with those other young paratroopers. Why? Because unless they jump into the danger below, they can't help save those who are dying from warfare and destruction. If they don't take a risk, then nobody stands a chance of survival. And that is what Jesus is modeling for Peter today. Let's say you're standing in front of a burning building and there's still people trapped in it, and it's terrifying. But then a firefighter shows up and he's about to run into the front door. Would you hold him back? Would you say, don't go? Of course not. As horrific as it is, we have to let him go, because that's the only possible chance of survival for those who are still engulfed in the flames. And that is what Jesus is showing Peter and you and I today. That the plan that God has for us is greater than all of our preconceptions. We have to dare to let Jesus go to his destiny, and we have to dare to go with him. And look at this wonderful thing. Jesus doesn't say to Peter, get away from me. He says to Peter, get behind me, so that then, staying close to Jesus, he can follow Jesus very close to his back, following all the way to his destiny. Let's go with him.